Hello Gemini, welcome to part 1 of 4 of your relationship reads. Part 1 is for Geminis that are single and not searching. We're just going to get advice on what you need to work on or focus on in the meantime while you prepare for your next relationship, whenever you're ready for that. Part 2 is for Gemini, the person on your mind, just to check the energies around that, advice, cautions, just the general tea of it. Part 3 is for Gemini trying to decide between two people. We're going to pull part 3 has got a sound bath, meditation included in it. Part 4 is the quickies, of which there's 2 parts. The first part is a general oracle card, 1 card oracle pull. Just check the energies, energy checking with yourself, and also Gemini versus all signs. Apologies, it's taking a while. I've got other work I'm doing as well. But let's get into it. Remember, tarot is just life advice. Your free will is never compromised. Check the messages that make sense. The ones that don't force it. Feel free to check your other placements. These readings are for your sun, moon, and rising signs. I'm almost done with all the readings, and the readings are timeless and they're general, meaning they're not going to apply to everybody. And whenever I get to the message, if anything makes sense, take the advice if you want. I'll soon be open for personal readings. When I'm open for those, I'll put the info in the description of my videos, and I'll also let you guys know. Because this is a part 1 to 4 reading. When I'm done uploading all the other videos, check in the description of the videos. You'll see the direct links to all of them, and also feel free to check under the air signs playlist and also the Gemini playlist for all your readings. Okay, so Gemini, let's get into it. Gemini, single and not searching. I've already got 1 card flip over for you. The 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Two more cards before we dig deeper. Temperance upright. King of Wands in reverse. Okay. So that's the 5 of Pentacles. Came up in reverse for you. You've got Temperance. Came up upright for you. And we got the King of Wands. Came up in reverse for you. So Geminis, at this point, you are transitioning. There's a bit of learning and unlearning that you are going through, or you should be going through right now. With the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, the 5 of Pentacles normally speaks about missed opportunities, feeling left out in the cold, losing sight of the main thing because you are so distraught and focused on one thing not going right, to moving into patience, understand, that's the Temperance upright, moving into patience, trusting the process of things, remaining grounded while still being emotionally available, trusting that you are backed by the divine. Now with the King of Wands, that's being in control of your passions, being a successful entrepreneur, for example, just generally succeeding. It's in reverse. So I think you are learning and unlearning. Probably in your past relationships you had issues with impatience. You had issues with knowing how to regulate yourself from wanting to be fully invested. So I think maybe you might have had you might have been the one blowing hot and cold, or that might have been what you have realized in your previous relationships, where you're stuck and so rigid and wanting things done a particular way. Geminis, you have to understand that as much as you like things a certain way, your partner has a right to be themselves and to express themselves the way they want to. The mistake most of us make, I'm guilty of it as well, is projecting this fantasy of your expectations of your partner in your head and not giving them a genuine chance to be themselves, and then getting offended and upset when they don't fit this fantasy that you've built for them. So Gemini, you're meant to learn to focus on what's the right thing. If things don't work, think about them, but do not dwell on them so much. I'm not saying don't give them deep thought, but you have to be able to pick your battles and know what is worth being all fussy about. And then with Temperance, you really need to take your time to get to know your partner, so you're not just rushing into things. You are trusting and knowing that your partner has a life, you know, they have other things that they also want to do. You also have to be able to find out how to fit in your partner's life and how they fit in yours as well. So, and you can't know these things right off the bat. Things you have to take your time to get to know them genuinely and let it be like an organic and thorough process. With the King of Wands, you have to be in reverse. You have to be your partner should be someone that matches with you, but not someone that compliments you, but in a but not someone that influences you to do the wrong thing. Like someone that's able to rein you in or keep you grounded or something like that. So let's dig deeper and find out what this Five of Pentacles. Let's look at the sort of opportunities or the kind of things that you are dwelling on that are not the main thing, or things that will rather think about them right now that you're single. Really, like, you know, when they say if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So instead of wasting time in your relationships, how do I put it? Or rather say, find out, take your time with all your unsuccessful relationships. Try and identify genuinely what your fault was and work on fixing them, so that when your next partner comes around, Gemini, you are not doubting yourself because you know you've done the work. You have a better idea of what you are looking out for, so you just don't fall for anything. So let's look at the sort of opportunities that you might have missed, or the sort of things that or how you felt stuck, how you felt left out in the cold and you're not able to see the benefits of your past relationship. You have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. You have the Two of Pentacles upright. And one more card for Gemini's single and not searching. Okay, no, that didn't go. Just one. Two. Just one. Okay, you got the Emperor upright. So the things that were making you feel, the opportunities that you have missed before because you were focusing on moaning and groaning about stuff, really had to do with your finances. I get a sense of someone faking it till they make it, or probably someone not being honest about that, because the Pentacles came out again twice as the Emperor. So it seems you might have gotten upset about your partner's behavior regarding their finances. Your previous partners might have lied about their money, and you realize that there might have been an imbalance in it might have been a one-sidedness when it came to generosity in your relationship, and that's because it's either your previous partners have not been entirely sincere about their finances, or you have projected and assumed something about their finances, but then when push came to shove, there was an imbalance in the investment when it came to finances in the relationship. Probably somebody was more generous than the other, or just like a difference in financial status, and there was harsh words might have been said. The Emperor come upright. The Emperor is a very no nonsense, straight to the point, no time for dilly-dallying kind of person. So somebody might have been someone that would like moan and groan about it, and then the other person would like get over it, you know, and be more practical and stuff. So that's the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles, someone that is elevated in their finances, their financial status, but is still able to roll up their sleeves and get shit done when shit needs to be done. That came up in reverse. So somebody might still be might have been on their way to their come up, and then the other person expected more, because the Two of Pentacles, we talked about seeing the rewards of your labor, right? But if the labor is not being done, how do you get, it wasn't adding up, and then somebody was just like, well, tough, deal with it. This is the Emperor. So there's a case of you might have gotten involved with somebody that wasn't exactly kind, or you might have been the one that has not been exactly kind in relationships. So don't get irritable when you don't take your time to do the research, Gemini. And don't make sure anybody you are getting, because this is, we attract what we are. So you have to work on the things you don't want to see in next relationship. Work on those yourself, so as soon as you identify it, you know that that's not going to work. The fact that you work on yourself in a relationship doesn't mean that the next person coming to you is going to be the right person. Most of the time, the next person comes to you might just be a test to find out whether you've really leveled up, Gemini. So you have to do the work, be the change you want to see. You have to do all these cliches, but they do make sense. You have to work, level up to attract better. So Temperance, which speaks about patience and trusting the process of things. You're clarifying Temperance right now for you, Gemini, because you've moved on from dwelling on things that were not working. Can you see it? When things are not working, to trusting the process of things now, being more patient, being more practical. We got the Six of Wands upright. Okay, remind yourself, Queen of Swords. All right, so this is just like a and Eight of Cups in reverse. That's the thing, Gemini. When you are patient, you would see that you will be rewarded, you'll be celebrated, you take your time and you'll be thorough. That's what the Six of Wands talking about. Where's the camera? This is talking about being celebrated and all that. You will be. You'll also be able to control your speech, and people will take your word for it. People will take your, with the Queen of Swords, you'll be in control, you'll be in charge. People will take your word for it, and you know how to speak. Because look, even though she's got like the sword of truth, look at, she's still able to notice the butterfly. So you'll be able to control your thoughts, you'll be able to think logically, you'll be able to be present and appreciate things and focus on the main thing, because you are transitioning from the Five of Pentacles, missed opportunities, to taking notes and celebrating and enjoying, being patient enough and present enough to enjoy your next relationship, to be work on your communication with your partner. And then with the Eight of Cups in reverse, nobody's gonna walk away, because there's nothing to walk away from. Why would you leave what's inside to go outside, you know? With the Eight of Cups in reverse. So patience, when you find yourself getting impatient, you tell yourself, well, the next relationship I want to get into has to be worth it. I'm not going to get stressed. I want a relationship where when I do good, I'll be saying, I want a relationship that will be goals. I want to be goals. I want to feel like my relationship is goals. I want a relationship where communication is key, where we are very honest with ourselves, but we are soft with each other, where we're able to express ourselves properly, keep the main thing, and still be kind to one another. And then a relationship where we're patient enough not to walk away. Okay, so the King of Wands, controlling one, being in charge of one's passions and emotions. Let's see if that has anything to do with, because Wands in a tarot is closely related to sex and lust and things like that. So let's see what that's about. What are the energies to expect, energies to work on? Gemini, single and not searching. Five of Wands in reverse. Unnecessary arguments. Being able to express, remain oneself while being respectful. Appreciating and remaining authentic to oneself while appreciating the authenticity in one's partner. We always want to be similar to our partners, but we need to give them space to breathe and be who they are. And yeah, so and that's by being able to coexist happily without unnecessary strife. Because with the five of Wands, look at all the tools. Each one can deal with each one. you know, and each one can stir that hornet. So you need to know how to control yourself, express yourself, control yourself, be present without just stirring up unnecessary shit. Right, okay. Let's get 2 more cards to clarify the King of Wands. How to remain respectful to your partner. Two more cards for Gemini. The 3 of Wands in reverse. Okay. Gemini, I think you're better with relationships that are close. I don't think you do well with long distance relationships, because the 3 of Wands talks about travel, adventure, exploration. So this is these are things that I think you're better off with somebody that is close by. You know how there's always like issues with communication, when like with the tone of a message. Sometimes we communicate, people, that's it. People always say communication or conversation is key, but what is key is comprehension. Because sometimes even when we express ourselves, you have no idea what the day your partner has had, so you have no idea how they are going to translate your message. So I think, Gemini, you might be someone that is better at reading body language, or you might be someone that might have had, because of Wands also have to do with communication, but more of expression, because swords really are, swords and Wands are quite relatable. Wands mostly have to do with expression of passion. So Gemini, you might have been having issues with expression of really, you might have been very guarded. So I think you're better off with somebody that is close by, that would give you the sun. You can't make this shit up. You really can't make this shit up. You really can't make this shit up, Gemini. So yeah, while you're waiting and preparing yourself for your next partner, you're waiting because you know you have work to do. You're just not ready. You're just not in it right now. Okay, that's understandable, perfectly understandable, because you found out that in your past relation, I'm just going to do a quick recap for you, Gemini. You found in your past relationships you were missing opportunities because probably of uncertainty, just focusing on the wrong thing. But now you are being more present, you are learning to be more present, you are actually getting more confident in yourself, and you realize that there's things that you actually do need to work on. Opportunities that you've missed before, Gemini, were because you rushed into relationships and you realize that you were expecting things that your partner didn't exactly promise. You realize that things are not just adding up. You felt you were doing more in the relationship, and you thought your partner might have been harsh with you, or there were just issues with communication. Somebody was just being impatient generally and being harsh with their words and really not giving what they were taking, right? So we've been learning to be patient with yourself and appreciating the process of things and just being more grounded, Gemini. You're going to realize that the next relationship you're going to get in should be one that you feel celebrated. You're striving for a relationship where there's open, honest, but kind communication. And really, when you have all that, you're not going to walk away. But moving forward, you realize that the things you have to work on right now, make sure you're not just being petty. Make sure you're not just tearing unnecessary shit up. Make sure, I think you're better. I would actually it genuinely looks, Gemini, like you're better off in a relationship that is close by. You don't do well with long distance, because then you start projecting. And Gemini, you are coming off as someone that might have a little bit more pessimistic than optimistic thoughts. So it's better for you to with someone that is close by to you, or close enough for you to establish and have these conversations, this honest but soft conversations, so that you decide, are you going to stay and enjoy the relationship, or are you going to walk away? But it looks like when you are ready and when you sort all this shit out, you're gonna get the sun. So make sure whatever you're getting yourself into, make sure you go through this process, make sure you learn what you're meant to learn, Gemini, so that you do get your sun. So good luck. Okay, Geminis, I'm going to end this reading here, and then I'll get into part 2 of your relationship read, which is for Geminis in relationships or situationships. That's Gemini, the person on your mind. Just general advice. I'm going to change the deck as well. When all the videos are uploaded, I will tag them in the description of this video. Feel free to check out that placement. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're up to 59. I really can't believe it. I'm so happy. Thank you guys for the support. See you soon, Gemini. Bye.